My father was a rich businessman. He bribed a lot of Senate's people. He called it a business technique, constantly bribing, pushing everything towards his ways of life, and they supported it. The Millionaire Club, the Senate was known as, always getting bribed for money, and everything went their way, so business kept on growing and growing and growing, and he got more rich and rich and rich.
Hey, stop.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Excuse me, sir. I just have a few questions to ask you. You think you could entertain me with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, first of all, how did you get all these millions?
Well, people pay me to vote for what they want. Rich businessman.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah.
Well, don't you see anything wrong with that?
No, not really. I get money. They get money. It's all good.
But it's the government. Don't you think that's corrupt? Doesn't the rest of the government interfere with that?
No, because I pay off the government. So that, doesn't really matter to me.
Okay, well,
Believe that.
don't you have any sort of competition of any kind? Do the people who pay you have competition?
No, because their competition pays me. So I make even more money.
Just voting for everybody, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, but what about all these workers that are paying the price?
Well, it doesn't matter to me, because the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. This is what happens to these workers. Officer man, let them pass.
Yes. Oh, God, I need that to feed my family.
Too bad, man. That's not my way.
Hey, that money! You can go back!
Save my money.
It's a business technique, nothing more.
It's just been getting worse and worse, man. They're raising the work hours. It's just getting harder and harder, and they're having more and more jobs, and there's more and more people coming, so I have to help them learn how to do everything, and it's just ridiculous, man. I'm not getting paid anything to keep this business going. I don't even know how they expect people to work, but we do anyways. All I know is that I can't support a family off this income. It's hard. I'm barely making it.
Riley?
Go.
Hello, today we have one of America's most famous smoke crackers from the 20th century. Please welcome Jacob Rice.
Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here today.
Alright, Mr. Rice, could you tell us more about your works back then?
Well, I was a journalist and a photographer.
And, Mr. Rice, what were the kinds of living conditions back in the day?
Well, living conditions were horrible. I took many pictures of New York City streets, and one of the worst ones was Mulberry Street. It was very filthy. Even though they had running water, it was very contaminated, and the street was filled with dung.
Ah, gross.
Yes, it was extremely filthy, and the working class had to live in it every day.
So, how was being a photographer important to you?
Well, I saw that the working class didn't have a voice, so I was pretty much their voice.
Interesting. Oh, and I've heard that you've actually met the Theodore Roosevelt. Could you tell us more about that, please?
Yes, I wrote a photographic essay on the working class conditions, and it's called How the Other Half Lives. It was very noticed by the Commissioner of Police, who was then Theodore Roosevelt. We later became friends, and he introduced the idea of muckraking journalism.
Wow, very interesting.
But I've heard that you were also against women's suffrage. Is that true?
Well, about women's suffrage.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rice. This is all the time we have.
Okay. thank you.
Goodbye.
Nice to meet you.